Clinic imefunguliwa. Financial clinic is on. Kama kawaida, the bench is at the reception. We've made more room because we have quite a number of things we need to talk about. We're beginning a brand new series looking at financial principles. And today we kick off by talking about the principle of risk and return. What is that? How do we apply it where our personal finances are concerned? I've got two amazing ladies in studio this morning. We have got the money coach. She's a money coach and she's also an author. Elizabeth Waithaka, how are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing well. I'm fine.
Karibu sana.
I'm glad to be here.
We're excited you're here. We want to be coached. We want more money. Or we want to be able to manage what we have.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Actually, that is the objective, to be able to manage what we have.
Yeah.
God calls us to be good stewards.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. Because you may get more now how do you manage.
Very true.
Yes.
And it has happened.
Yes, we see people winning lotteries of millions.
And after some time, they are back there.
Even worse.
Can you imagine?
Wanabakia na madeni. We also have personal finance coach and author Gladys Juma. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm very fine.
Thank you for having me.
Think hii title ya author hata mimi sasa nitaongeza kwa title zangu. I should also say I'm an author.
Please do.
Principle of risk and returns. First of all, why is it important to understand financial principles?
Okay, great question there to begin with. It's important to us to understand financial principles, first based on what Elizabeth has just said.
Okay.
Yeah, that we are stewards of what God has given us. Yeah, so of course you'll be brought to book. Eh? When you're stewards, you're handling...
You will account, eh?
Yeah, something or someone on behalf of another.
Yeah.
So one day you'll be accountable.
Yes.
And be able to explain how you use the money.
Yes.
But secondly, everybody has goals. Yeah, and money is a great enabler to those goals. Yeah, you want to own a home one day, you want to drive that car, everybody has their own diverse goals.
Yes.
So when you manage your money well, yeah, if you understand the money principles, then that's the only way it would get you there. Yeah, and there are common ones, like, live within your means, do not spend more than, you have. Yeah, bad debts, good debts, they're all there, but they're all helpful. Yeah, only when you understand them.
Okay. Would you say, Elizabeth, in your interaction with people, that for a good number of us, it's not that we may not necessarily need more money, we just need to understand the principles? Because could it be that some of us ignore the principles and we keep wondering why we find ourselves in financial difficulties?
No, sometimes it's not about the amount. And many people have fallen into that. Just like we have said as we're introducing, we have seen people who win jackpots.
Yeah.
At some time, they have lost it. So sometimes it's not about the amount. Yeah, it is the ability to manage that money.
Okay.
The ability to make the best out of that you're calling retro money. There's no retro money, there's no much money.
Yes.
It is how we approach it, the principles that we use to manage it, what we do with it, how we relate with it. It is what makes a difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today we are focusing in on the principle of risk and return. What is that?
The principle of risk and return.
Yes. We like the return part, the risk part. Hatutaki kusikia.
Okay, now that's a great discussion to have. First of all, risk is that probability of either making a gain or a loss, achieving what you expect versus what actually happens. Yeah, so you may be anticipating to get a return, and a return is really a profit from what you put in, which can be an absolute amount or a percentage. Yeah, so you may be expecting to gain high, and then you don't gain that amount, or a specific amount, and then you score low. Yeah, that's risk. Yeah, but now the principle of risk and return is simple: high risk, high return. Yeah, so when you take high risk, according to the way we the finance people say, high risk, high return. So you take on high risk, expect high return. When you're very, very risk averse, meaning you don't want to take on too much risk, then the return is lower.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's beautiful for you to be able to understand how that plays out, because then it's the only way to know how to create that balance. Yeah, because then you can be so risk averse, and then your money gets to lose value. Yeah, because you want to get your money, to take
What
your
to a
money.
mattress account?
Wake a bus mattress account. You put in your mattress,
Yeah.
or just keep it in your bank account. Yeah, none that's not generating any interest.
Okay.
That means that your money is losing value just because you do not want to take on any amount of risk. Yet the inflation is north of 8%. Yeah. So what does that mean, Percy? If your money is not in an investment that's generating more than that 8%,
You're losing.
you're losing.
But you see, the thing is, when I think about the majority of people, when we think about money, we think about being employed, working, earning a salary. And so, hii mambo ya risk and return, probably the only risk we're thinking of is losing our job. Yeah. So, how does this factor in where personal finance is concerned? Because many of us are cultured to look for a job, settle in a job, you'll be paid every month, and life goes on. So how does this apply?
And actually, as we grew up, many of us, not all of us, many of us, as we grew up, we were told, go to school so that you get a job.
Yeah.
That is the conditioning that we were done. And because as we grew up, the money subject was silent for most people.
Yeah.
So we find it a bit difficult to understand these things. They look like jargons, risk and return, and yet they are not. Investment may look like it is out there, or it's something that is very difficult. When you talk about the issue of risk, the issue of return, people are like, oh, I am risking, just like you are saying, losing my job.
Yes.
There's more to there's more to it. When you're getting into that investment, it is always good to know that there's a chance that I can lose part of my investment, and that is what is called risk. Don't be don't hear the word risk and you hear like it's something that is difficult. It is just the chance that you can lose some of the money in the investment, but you can also gain a very higher percentage on the other edge. And again, the return is what you get for putting your money out there. You know, you don't put it out there, you don't make your money grow with no compensation for it.
Yes.
So the return is the compensation for risking your money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, what you say, risk and return, and you've mentioned investment
Yeah.
a couple of times, the thing that comes to mind is opportunities. And I keep wondering, I think we've just finished doing a series on different kinds of investment. And the same questions keep coming up. It seems like a lot of people don't know what kind of investments are available, so they don't know where to put their money, where risk and return is concerned. You know, so how do we change that narrative? And I'm asking you, the two of you, because you are in this space.
Yeah.
You talk to people about finances, you've written a book. So how do we change this narrative, especially even looking at the coming generation?
First of all, I must begin by saying that in whatever venture you put in your money, it must be aligned with your goals for it to make sense.
There's a goals in your Ghani.
Goals. You must have your goals, your short-term goals, for example. That would be what? Like maybe a holiday for your family at the end of the year. You see, if that's a goal that you set in maybe at the start of the year,
Yeah.
then you'd know where to put in your money. A money market fund would work very well, for example, or short-term investments like treasury bills. Why? Because those ones are, even by nature, by the way they are crafted, they're short-term.
Yeah.
Really, a treasury bill is an investment that, that lasts for a year, 3 months, a whole year, etc. But it doesn't go beyond 364 years. That's the longest term bond. You see, now you've tied it, bill, you've tied it to your goal. A medium term goal can be, maybe a down payment, putting up a down payment for your home. So if it's depending on how soon you expect to raise that amount, good goals, Percy, are time-based. So a good goal, the amount is in there and the timeline. So say if your goal is to have raised your down payment for your home by, say, 31st of December, 2023, then you can't go buying like stocks, like shares. You don't know. Nobody understands the fluctuations, really. You see what's happening now after the elections. Now you see what's happening. And the headlines in our newspapers. So who knows? That's not quite driven? I mean, the movement, you'd not credit it to fundamentals. Like nothing has changed in their respective corporates for the shares to go up.
Yeah.
They're the same companies. It's just
Yeah.
that now the country is peaceful. Yeah, it creates
stability.
a great stability, a great investment environment. Yeah, because it's that certainty
Okay.
that comes with stability. A long-term goal, you can play with the shares. You see, you've got the luxury of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see, I like it that you're saying there was a series on these different instruments. It's very, very important to understand where you put in your money.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, there is someone who says that you should be able to put it down on tissue. Yeah. Or explain in a few minutes. You should be able to explain in a few minutes the venture or the instrument or even the vehicle that you use to, that you invest in.
Okay.
If you're not able to do that, first of all, you're making a
Consider
mistake.
Mali.
Yeah. So first of all, whatever the investment must be aligned with your goals. That's number one.
Okay.
Yeah. And that investment, please understand it properly. Even if you sat with a coach like me, please ask all the questions. Remember, the money is yours. Yeah. You do not want to invest and then you blame me later on. You need to understand as a person who's worked very, very hard for that money.
In fact, on that aspect, we've had quite a number of stories of people who've lost their money. They get more publicity than the ones of people who made money.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about risk and return, a lot of people may be apprehensive because we've had stories of people who invested their money here, and they lost their money. So how do you tackle that? And when we're talking about risk and return, I keep hearing of calculated risk. Hebu tupatieni hiyo formula ya calculate. Ndio tujue vile tutacalculate risk.
Two things.
Yeah.
When you talk about people who lost their money, we know, especially in our Kenyan economy, and we have experienced it, we saw it happen with the pyramids
Yes.
in the recent past. There was also the issue of quails. And I want to echo what my colleague Gladys here is saying.
Yes.
Even the issue of goals, the issue of understanding your investment option. Many people get into investments without knowledge, without knowing, because of their money personalities. And we've got different money personalities. Because of their money personalities, they when they see James is doing this, is doing quails. So all of
Yes.
us, we are doing quails, without weighing, is this, what is my risk appetite? What am I able to swallow, And when we talk about the risk appetite, would just be talking about what you're able to do or the risk that you're able to take is different from what I'm able to take based on my money personality or based on my circumstance. So the risk return trade-off, the knowledge of the investment option, the investment vehicles that you are taking, will also determine the kind of risk, the kind of return that you are going to take. And there's something that you had said earlier before even we came here. How can we change this narrative?
Yeah.
I wish and that is actually one of the objectives that I have when I'm teaching children about money.
Oh,
that
you
they
teach children?
Yeah, I teach children, I teach teenagers, young adults.
Okay.
Those are my specialities, just to impact the next generation. They do not grow up with the ignorance that many of us grew up with, that takes us to taking unnecessary or uncalculated risks. And there's something we always say when we are running with children. That and it is very true, and children love when I talk about it in class, that if you don't tell your money where to go, it will run away. It may look like it is something funny, but it's very, very true.
Yeah.
And telling your money where to go is taking the calculated risks. For example, risks that are in alignment with yourself, with your goals. And many people, and my colleague has brought out that one very clearly, many people do not even know what are goals. You also ask the same, what are goals?
Yeah.
And
The
many
goal
people
is to get more money.
Actually, people grow with only one objective. They live from one paycheck to another. The objective of the goal is just not to be broke.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? When somebody has got a little money, they have achieved my goals. So when we talk about money goals, people are like, what are you talking about? I've got some money. some little money. So I think it is important to know what is our goals. It is part of taking the calculated risk. What are my goals? What do I want to achieve? Within what time? What am I comfortable taking? What is my money personality? Actually, it starts from there, so that we
Yeah.
know how are we taking the
In
money.
fact, yes,
Yeah.
she's talked about money personality. How does that factor in with the conversation we're having?
So now the risk averse. Yeah, of course they will not take on risk. They fear risk. You called it a mattress account.
Yes,
Yeah, so
mattress
they'd fall
account.
into that category. They are comfortable in seeing their money grow into millions in their account. Yeah, and many are hoarders. Yeah. Now on the flip side, the spenders, many spenders are risk takers.
Okay.
They will tell me, hey, Percy, I've seen this venture that doubles your money within the month.
Yes.
And quickly you take it on. Yeah, after all, high risk, high return, right? Yeah. So hence, again, that conversation on calculated risk. You really, really must put in the work, Percy. You must understand where you're putting in your money. Yeah.
In fact, I was going
You
to ask
really
that.
must.
I was going to ask that question
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the high risk, high return, because I think many people, because they want high returns, we jump into things we haven't calculated or we haven't done our due diligence.
Yeah.
Because Gladys ameniambia, if you put your money here, in 2 weeks you will double it. Yeah. I go take money from my circle, I borrow from friends, I put my money there. So how do you balance the high risk, high return, the lack of knowledge of where to invest and where to put your money? What is legit? What is not legit? What is opaque? What is not opaque?
No, look, first do your homework. Do your homework. Try your best. And
But you
again,
see-
unfortunately for finance, it intimidates a lot of people.
Yes.
But the problem is this: we are not making use of what's available.
Okay.
Like many times,
Okay.
I have made talks.
Yeah.
Or even in conversations such as this one you're
Yeah.
having. Yeah. When, say, for example, talking about bonds, and I asked, for example, whether the listeners have CDS accounts. Yeah, and many will say yes. And you maybe just sample and ask, when did you open it? My stockbroker. But you see, CDS and CDSC are different things. Yeah. So you'd need to get a CDS account to be able to invest in bonds and bills through opening an account with the CBK, Central Bank. And you mention that and you see people going like, are we allowed to get into Central Bank?
I asked the same question when we were talking about what you are telling us. I asked exactly the same question.
Yeah.
I asked, Central Bank, watu wanakubalishaka kuingia?
Yes.
Because many of us, just the way the place has been,
The way
we're
it's
thinking,
guarded and
oh,
it's
my
quiet.
friend.
Yeah,
Tauliza wewe ni nani na unataka nini?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the picture we have is hapo ndio pesa imewekwa.
they're there to ensure the security, of course, of the building and for you. Yeah. But there are officers in there ready to answer any of your questions. Yeah. In case it's shares you want to invest in.
Yes.
The stock brokerage firms, there's a front office. People there are willing to take on any question. Go learn. Yeah. There are books. We are both authors. I'm not campaigning for ours. There are many books out there.
Yeah.
There's so much online. I don't know what you can find online nowadays, Percy. How to invest in shares, even in Kenya, step by step. Yeah.
How do
So
you know-
on that knowledge, the
Yeah.
knowledge is just there. You just need to go for it. And for the ones who do not want to do all this, they feel that it's a lot of work. What about investing in unit trusts, where you will pay a small fee, and through that, those vehicles, you're able to invest in bonds, in shares. Yeah.
No.
In
Reke kweli.
what will you say?
In the previous hour, we were talking about the story of Elisha and the widow who had a little oil.
Yeah.
And how she was asked, "What do you have?" And she said, "I have nothing except a little oil." And we were saying how sometimes when you have something, it is so natural to you, you assume everybody knows it. And I'm saying that to say, you see, both of you are in the financial space. These things make sense to you. For some of us, we will come back again and say, ati alisema bond ni gani? Ati alisema nini kuhusu risk? Because it doesn't come naturally. And so we need to hear it over and over and over again before it settles. You know, so what may come naturally to you because this is your space may not come naturally to that person. Me, I'm thinking, hey,
But
this 30,000 wacha tu nishikilie. Vile nimesikia sijui so and so alipoteza wapi, so and so alipoteza wapi. Hata kama itanini, hata kama kuna inflation ni sawa tu. At least I know it is there. I look at it every day, it is there. So the change of the mindset needs a lot of work. And I love that you have begun by talking to children so that by the time they get to our age, these things are natural to them. Sisi tuliambiwa someni vijana, muongeze bidii, mtapata kazi mzuri.
I tell you something, Pasi.
Yeah.
And you were just joking out there as we waited to get into studio. Yeah, that even accountants,
Yes.
many of us, we've done the CPAs and
Yes.
all that, ACCs, etc. Yeah, so there's something extra. Pasi, I'll say the interest.
Okay.
Even the interest needs to be there.
That's
that
why
I
we're doing
really,
this
really
show.
want to understand the finances because I'm already thinking about the future.
It is the Financial Clinic. We're looking at principles, money principles today. We are talking about risk and return. And if you have any questions for us, 20316 is the SMS line. And the WhatsApp number is 0786 316 316. There's a conversation we were having as we were listening to this song, just about the whole issue of many of us focus on the return. We just want the return.
Yeah.
Ati nikikupatia 30,000 alafu after wiki moja itakuwa 50. Uko na hakika? Haya, nitakuletea kesho. What the process is we don't want to know. As we just want, kama itarudi ikiwa 50 niko sawa. What's the problem with that?
Actually, that is a problem that has really hampered many of us, especially our growth financially. Because when we are looking at the investment options, actually we don't many times consider the risk. We are just looking at the return.
Yeah.
So the return becomes the sole objective why we want to get into a certain investment vehicle. And you know, it is not a good approach. It is actually a very defeating approach when you just consider the returns. There are many other things, many other factors to consider, like what are my investment goal? Am I investing maybe to be able to finance that marriage, maybe or that wedding, maybe to be able to educate my children, to be able to own a home? You don't consider those other factors. What is my risk profile? What is happening in the economy? What do I need to know? What is my time horizon, for example? People really do not consider that. And because of that, people have put their money in investment vehicles that really may not add value. Or they have really lost a lot of money.
Or they've been conned.
Because they are just pushing for the return.
Yeah.
The return is their sole consideration.
Yeah.
I think it is a high time we rant that there are many other factors to consider apart from the return. Let us not just be driven by the return because that is what is messing us around. Yeah, let us look at the other factors that need to be considered. Even understanding the investment vehicle, how does it work? People have not grown their money because they have got this money that they are not using for a number of times, or maybe when they have started when they are younger, but they are not, because they are not able to consider the other factors apart from the returns.
Yeah.
They get into vehicles that will make their money grow very, very slowly. Okay? And somebody maybe who starts when they are younger, they have got the time or the opportunity or the space to take into more risk, more risky investment options.
Yeah.
So it is good not to be pushed by the return only. Let the return not be the sole consideration. Let us look at other factors.
Now, where those other factors are concerned is where you guys come in. We're also having the same conversation. I'm just curious, do a lot of people seek help from money coach and personal finance coaches? Or do people look at you as, apana, you're expensive? And what's the cost of not seeking out somebody who's well-versed in this? I mean, if I'm sick, I go to the doctor because they know something about how the body functions. So it should be the same with you guys. But do people seek out your services as much as they should?
They do, but I don't think it's as much as they should.
Okay.
I like it that you bring in doctors or even lawyers that we were talking about.
Yeah.
By the time you're seeking the services of a lawyer, you absolutely must get that legal help.
Yes.
You're looking for them because you need help. Yeah. Same when you're ill, you need a doctor.
Yeah.
When you get that medical bill, you pay for it. But finance, you see, I think it gives you an option. Yeah, you're not in pain, you're not in trouble. Yeah, so you see, it's an option.
You go to Sawa.
Yeah.
Actually, you have the money.
Yes.
By the
And
time
you have
you're
the
going
money.
to seek for the service of
Yes.
a financial advisor,
You have some money
you
somewhere.
have the money, and
It's
you're
true.
feeling the warmth that comes with money. So you don't think you need this professional.
Kwanza
true.
nikienda kumwona ata reduce pesa yangu, anataka nimlipe.
Yeah, but it's very unfortunate though,
Okay.
because for a lot of people, by the time they're seeking help, sometimes, and I don't want to say it's too late, because the day you discover that you need to seek the help of a financial advisor,
Yeah.
or that even if not seek the help of a financial advisor, but you need to take charge of your finances, unfortunately, for a lot of times, it's often too late.
Okay.
Yeah, you may be in your 40s, 50s, and then you're thinking, okay, now I've got 10 years to retire.
Yeah.
I've got under 20. In fact, very few look at 20 as a short time. Yeah, so you see, you begin then. And remember what Elizabeth was talking about earlier. Yeah, when you're young, you've got the luxury of time.
Exactly.
You can take on risky ventures.
Time and energy.
Yeah, lose everything and you have time to rebuild.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then as you become older, you know, even if we do what we do, we call risk profiling. Yeah, we will give a risk questionnaire to check your level of risk.
Yeah.
The older you are, the more risk averse you get.
Very true.
Yeah. First of all, you've tried and tested so many things.
Yeah.
So you'll hear atiquel, I don't know what, you're like apana. I'd rather do my chicken rearing.
Yes.
That's what has worked well for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunately, for many, they seek, they need. I mean, they see the need for financial advisory.
Yes.
Very late in
Okay.
the day.
Okay.
Yeah. So unless you've got that education or that need comes to you earlier. Yeah, but you see, it's an option.
It's an
That's
option.
what makes a difference.
That whole retirement conversation is a conversation we need to have, because I think sometimes when we think retirement, we still think old school.
And I want to say something about retirement. You see why I have taken retirement as a huge wake-up call?
Yeah.
Because that's the time you realize, Allah, after 60, I do not have any active income. Do you know what that means? That car, that high-end car you have at the parking, you may one day not be able to fuel it. Yeah, that house in some market area.
Yeah.
And now I'm going high-end because you possibly, have paid it off. Yeah, you have money like Elizabeth was talking about. Yeah, but guess what? You'll still continue paying service charge.
Very true.
You do not have that active income. Possibly you haven't taken care of your health. Are you covered? I mean, how will you get covered post-retirement? Many people have medical insurance because you're employed.
You're employed
it comes
somewhere.
as a benefit. Yeah, so a lot of those things we don't think through. So you see, if you haven't taken care of your money, you haven't started thinking about passive income. How am I able to still earn money when I'm not going to the office or when I'm not actively involved in the business?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
There's a question here. It says, I'm loving the discussion. I have a question. In my mid-20s, I invested in a business that had potential to do well. But for the last 1 year, I've had to keep pumping in money and haven't been getting returns. I'm currently looking for a job so that I'm able to also sustain the business. What would you advise on investing in businesses? And at what point do you decide, you know what? It's time to cut my losses and move on to something else.
A very relevant question and something that is happening, especially in our economy. And this happened so much with COVID.
With COVID, yes.
Yeah, many businesses, even many jobs were hit, and people found themselves struggling. But what I love about our listener who is asking that question, I think they said they are 20.
They started this business in their 20s.
Or in their 20s. Okay, I don't know how old they are, but the beauty of starting early is that you've got the time to recover. Had that business been started after 40 or after 50, it becomes very difficult. You hear what is happening, COVID comes, and you hear what is happening maybe in the political scenarios, and you start having a loose stomach. Because now you do not have time to recover.
Yes.
So business, one of the things that can really give you a financial freedom is a business. But then business entrepreneurship is a journey. It may be difficult, but it has got also the chance of helping you make it.
Okay.
The fact that you're pumping in, you just pumping in money and looking for returns, it is a comeback looking for employment to be able to sustain your business. There could be a comeback model. If you started in your 20s, at least now you have understood the dynamics of that business.
Yes.
As the economy changes, as the situation changes, you're able to flow with it. So there's still hope, as much as it's a difficult season. Seasons come, the seasons change.
Yes.
So there's still hope that that business can recover. Whatever it takes for you to bring it back to its feet, if you are younger, you have got more room to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the earlier we get this information, the better. The earlier we start, the earlier we appreciate it, the better it is for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is one of my listeners amesema ataenda CBK. Yeah, you
Please.
can walk in. Ataenda CBK
And tell them
to get to learn.
to go before 2 p.m.
Okay.
After 2 p.m., okay, the weekdays.
Yeah.
After 2 p.m., Central Bank is closed to the public.
Wanaendaga lunch.
Bora wako ndani by 2 p.m.
Wanafunga milango.
Lakini hawataenda wote.
Okay. Okay.
Hutakosa the officers inside.
This is the typical question when we talk about things like this.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you get questions like this. Pasi and the guest, I have 100K that would want to invest. How do I get genuine financial advisors who will not swindle me? How can I invest and get good returns constantly? And I've seen this kind of questions a lot on Facebook. Wadau,
Yeah.
niko na 100K. Neza invest wapi nikuwe nikiget 10K returns monthly? And people give all sorts of crazy answers. Yeah.
Just like we said earlier, that people are, you see, they are asking, get this return.
Yes.
They
Yes.
are not asking, what is my investment goal? What do I want with this 100K?
To get returns.
You know, how much time can I hold it? You know, what are my other delaying factors? What is driving me into this? Am I just saving? Do I have the opportunity even to keep adding to this amount that I have to make it even grow more? It is not just about the returns. It's also about the discipline that comes with it. Will it give me the room to even save more, to even invest more? Or will I get into a comfort zone because I've got 100K maybe put in the bonds or in the money market and I've got nothing else in mind?
Yeah.
So the information is wide. And actually, I've not seen financial advisors who are swindlers, unless you are not doing your due diligence.
Thank you.
We get financial advisors who are honest. They don't even touch your money.
Okay.
They just give you the information. Put your money here, you just work on your money. But people, because of the ignorance that is around there,
Yeah.
they have even ended up giving people their money.
Their money, yes.
Because they are calling themselves the financial advisors.
Very true.
People don't do their research. Yeah. It is important to approach it from a different perspective. Don't just move from the return point of view.
Okay. We talked about being risk averse. So if I'm that person who, mkonogam, risking my money, putting it here, hapana, wacha tu nikae nayo. How do I change that?
You first need to have self-talk. I don't know.
Self-awareness.
Yeah. You really, because you're doing yourself a lot of disservice. Yeah, that money. Let me ask you, Pasi, just a few years back, how much would 100 bob, how many loaves of bread would 100 bob have bought for you? I mean, or rather, how many pieces of bread could 100 bob buy? Rephrased. When it was 20 bob, for example,
That's
5
bad.
loaves of bread.
Yeah.
100 bob, how much can it, I mean, how many loaves of bread can it buy now?
Saizi hata ni moja inatoshea. Ni
Yeah.
moja.
Yeah, so you can imagine if you took that 1,000 shillings 10 years ago, put it in your mattress. It's not 1,000 shillings today.
No, yeah.
It is less.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're hoarding your money and not letting it work for you, imagine you're losing money. Yeah, you're like almost at the same level as a person who's taking an uncalculated risk, because that person could easily lose money. Yeah, but you see, when it's calculated, and calculated brings in the element of diversification of investments.
Okay.
Yeah, because what I normally say, yeah, even if you've really perfected the art of, say, maybe business, yeah, you've taken a line of business and it's working very, very well for you. You can't have all your money in that basket. Imagine you can't, because what does that mean? The day you fall ill, you close your business, you sell everything in your business. You can't.
Yeah.
You need some amount of money saved in a near cash investment where you can access your money pretty quickly. Yeah, in under 2 days, under 3 days,
So
in a
basically
day.
spread your risk.
Spread it. Yeah, you do not want to go buying pieces of land all over the place. and then you have nothing that you can get very, very quickly.
Yes.
So you've had that thing of being asset rich and cash poor.
Yes.
Yeah, that you get ill or you need money in a hurry,
And
and,
you
the
can't.
Harambee has to be held. And
Yeah.
everybody calls you rich because they know. They have a ranch in place X.
Yeah.
They have land, I don't know where, in Karen, half an acre, something. Yeah, people already know all of this. But it's important. One way to really, really ensure that your risk element is taken care of very, very well is having your investments diversified. Yeah? And even when they're diversified, again, they're still based on your goals. Remember
Okay.
I was telling you, once
Yeah.
your goals are clear, it's very easy for you to know what money to place where, because you have direction. And then it also becomes very difficult for you to invest haphazardly. Yeah, when you're clear that I'm putting this money aside every month,
Yes.
because by the end of next year, I want to have enough for the down payment. Even if I was to come back today and tell you you can invest in quail birds, yeah, because the quail eggs sell for this much, you'll still say no, because you're so super focused.
Wow.
Yeah. So even back to the question, I like the way she answered that one on the 100K. What can I do? That's a very, very vague question. And then when it comes to finances, personal finances are as personal as they can get. Yeah. Myself, Elizabeth, and you can be given 100K right now.
Yeah.
But the way we apply that 100K
Is very
could
different.
be very, very different
It will
because
be very
our
different.
demands in life differ, risk appetite, our ages, many things come into play.
Very true.
Yeah.
I have to shut down the clinic. My time is up. Imagine. Time imeisha. Several people saying they've invested and gotten good returns. That's good to hear. Well, I have to shut down the clinic. Madaktari wanaenda kuhudumia. They have to take risks elsewhere so that they can get returns. Thank you for being a part of the Financial Clinic. Until next time, God bless you.
Thank you for watching. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get notified whenever we upload new fresh content every day. Stay tuned and enjoy fresh, uplifting content.